In the past, you have talked about just different arguments for the existence of God, but one that you haven't talked about is beauty. And myself and the guys one day, we had a really deep conversation about beauty and value and is it subjective and things like that. So I think we should talk about that.
Oh, well, I always love the deep conversations that you all have. Sometimes they make it on camera a little bit, so. But yeah, like beauty is an interesting one because there's both this like subjective and objective nature to it. I mean, we've all heard the phrase, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And it reminds me of years ago, maybe about 15 years ago or so, my cousin had a pug. And this pug would run around, its tongue would always hang out the right side of its mouth, and it would run around in circles for like 10 minutes. It was the craziest thing I ever saw. And they thought this pug was just beautiful. Now, listen, I know there are a lot of pug folks out there, owners and lovers. This is no shade to pug owners at all. However, while my cousin, my beloved cousin, loved that pug and thought it was the most beautiful thing in the world, I didn't have the same relationship with it. I'll put it like that. But parents too. Parents think that their children, particularly when they're born, are the most beautiful things in the world. So when we think about beauty, beauty is perceived differently by us all. But there's no doubt like a universal recognition of beauty itself. It was Saint Basil the Great, in fact, who said, "By nature, men desire the beautiful." So again, we all perceive things to be aesthetically beautiful. But beauty is also an objective reality that we all, again, apprehend in different ways, but it's that shared desire and detection of beauty that makes it a universal apprehension. But beauty, specifically in nature, isn't just something for us to behold. It actually points to the existence of God and his presence. For years, philosophers have talked about these three transcendentals. That's truth, beauty, and goodness. And these are all values or transcendentals, which are timeless, objective attributes of reality that are indeed knowable by everyone. It was C.S. Lewis who said, "We do not merely want to see beauty. We want something which can hardly be put into words, to be united with the beauty we see, to pass into it, to receive it into ourselves, to bathe in it, to become part of it." I mean, think about how beauty in your life has evoked certain emotions or communicated something that you can't quite describe, but that's not part of our physical reality. It's an innate, universal, and transcendent recognition. People hear a song and feel something because of its magnificent melody. I remember for years when I would write poetry more frequently, it would be songs that would evoke certain thoughts in my mind that would actually help me to write the different kinds of poetry that I wrote. Or perhaps when we gaze at a stunning painting and are paralyzed by its striking palette. These are innate feelings and desires that point to something or someone outside of us. And in an atheistic framework where there is no God, no guided, intentional creation of the world and everything in it, beauty really has no place, or rather no foundation in that reality. And when something doesn't correspond to the stated worldview that we hold to, we know that it's not, in fact, true. There was the atheist philosopher Luke Ferry who once said, "I find the Christian proposition infinitely more tempting, except for the fact that I do not believe it. But were it to be true, I would certainly be a taker." The argument from beauty, like morality, is one in which everyone has experienced it and can relate to it. The argument by itself won't be for everyone, but there are a lot of Luke Ferrys in the world who desire for the Christian proposition to be true, and perhaps starting with talking about the objective nature of beauty can be one stepping stone toward a relationship with Christ.
Thanks for watching Everyday Theology. For more content like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button.